To describe the event in one word, without a swear word, would be inspirational.
My name's Dani Wallace and I am the Queen Bee. I grew up on the council estates of Preston and I was furious when I found out that the Queen was born the Queen. So I set about creating the I Am the Queen Bee movement to help more people show up, wise up and rise up and reclaim their birthright to success. There's this quote that goes, aerodynamically, bees should not be able to fly. Their little wings shouldn't get their fat little bodies off the ground. But bees don't care what humans think is impossible. Bees fly anyway. So I wanted to create a space and a community where we can do what bees do when they're building something new. And that's festoon and link arms and help each other.
Community is really important, knowing that when people are talking about their experiences, it's not just you're not alone, there's other people that resonate and there's other people that you can help.
It's just about soaking up the atmosphere and being part of a community that supports each other.
BEE Inspired is a 6-month mastermind that culminates in the most incredible personal and business development event where you take to the stage and share your mission and your business message.
It's been amazing. I have never done anything like this. Never ever thought I would, but because of Dani, I have. And I have genuinely loved it.
This is the place to be. It's so inclusive and actually it's there to help you mentally, physically and emotionally.
There's nowhere else where you'd ever feel so held and so safe.
I would love for you to come and get involved with BEE Inspired so we can get you using your superpower hidden in plain sight, your voice, to take up the space you deserve in the world with your mission and your business. I can't wait to hear from you.
And with the swear word, how would you describe it?
I would describe it as inspirational.
Good morning, cheeky chops. How are you doing? Welcome to the show, Rise Up show with me, your host, Dani Wallace. I hope you're feeling good this morning. I'm going to put some face on while I talk to you. Good morning. We are gathered here today for Wise Up Wednesday. I have got an incredible guest for you this morning. But before I invite my guest on, I've got a little something to tell you. I said there was a big announcement coming up today because I've been doing some thinking in the background with my little brain. I've been doing some talking to people to see what's popping with them. And I think I've come up with something that you lot are going to absolutely love. So what is it? Let me put my eyebrows on and tell you. So good morning, everybody. If you are watching along this morning, I want to know where you're watching from in the world, and I want to know what the weather is doing. Now, please, will somebody remind me that I need to order some new weather magnets, because as the weather gets a little bit warmer, we're going to be discussing the weather even more, aren't we? Because we can't ever get over ourselves here in the UK, at the very least. When we get a couple of days of sunshine, we get all excited. And if that couple of days of sunshine turns into a week, we get even more excited. Now, if it turns into 2 weeks, we get a little bit scared. We don't know what to do with an actual summer, and we get worried. So just to keep you in the loop and keep you informed, good morning. Jules Kelly is on the M6. We've got our shite weather map here to talk to you about the shit weather. It's been a long while since we've done the shit weather, and I want to do the shit weather this morning before we do anything else. So Beth Thompson is watching from Leeds. I'm in Leeds and it's proper moody out there. Is it moody? Sun is shining here in Preston this morning. In Rotherham, it's a little bit dull. Is Rotherham dull, or is it the weather in Rotherham? Let me know. Wales, and it's trying to be sunny. God loves a trier. In Surrey, Gail's saying it's a little bit overcast today. The weather today as a Mardy bum. Nina A. Spencer is saying, I think that Preston's getting the best of it. We've got the Netherlands watching this morning. My gorgeous Sandra Tenebre's watching. It's the Netherlands. It's our King's Day. It's blurry. It's a bit cloudy. Amy Cruz is watching. Our very own Charlie Dimmock of the Hive. It's gloomy day here in Emsworth, but I'm still smiling. Of course you are, my darling. Sarah Ulman Bushell is watching along in Eastbourne. It's cloudy there. Bit dreary today in Peterborough. See, I love it. I miss doing the shit weather. And here's the thing: when we talk about the weather here in the UK, there's only really a couple of outcomes. One, it's raining. And two, it's scorchy or three, the standard UK response, it's a bit shit. We're looking outside. What's the weather like? It's a bit shit. And I miss my little bees. I'm going to have to try and find my weather. But they got lost in the melee of the move last year. But I do miss doing the shit weather with you all at the beginning of the show. So it's going to make a comeback. It's going to absolutely make a comeback. So how are you guys? Are you all well? Come on in here. Come and get a Wednesday cuddle as we wise up together. The whole premise of the show is in 3 sections. So 1, we've got showing up. Showing up is showing up for ourselves, showing up for our businesses, thinking about who we need to show up for when it comes to our businesses and indeed our lives. So on a Monday, we do that. We show up together. We set our intentions for the week. On a Wednesday, we've got Wise Up Wednesday, where often I will bring in a guest to talk to you about their area of expertise. It's all well and good me nattering to you on the occasion, but gets a bit boring me after a while, doesn't it? So I'm going to bring in some incredible guests to talk to you about their area of expertise and get you thinking about the next level of your business. And then on a Friday, we've got Rising Up. We'll celebrate the week together, celebrate all the things that we have achieved. It could be worse. Snow is the devil. There's this saying, isn't there, that there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad preparation. And I think in the UK, any inclement weather, we're just not ready for. I don't know if you can hear my daughter's sort of writhing around in agony in the background. Please know that she is safe and okay, and I've got my eye on her. She's not feeling very well, so she's off school today. Little Ivy, again, she's not having a right good run of luck, is she, with her health? She's got a bellyache, so if you hear her meeping in the background, I have got her. She is okay. There is another parent in the house, so just know that I'm not ignoring her. Morning, I'm sat at my desk in Tewkesbury, Gloucestershire. It's overcast where you are. So yeah, we celebrate our wins together. So yeah, in the UK, we kind of panic a little bit whenever there's like inclement weather. If it's a bit too rainy, or it's a bit too windy, or it's a bit too snowy, or a bit too sunny, we just don't know what to do with ourselves. But I think that's what makes us us. I think that's what makes us quirky. That's why I like talking about. That's why I like talking about the weather with you all. And it's a conversation starter. And you know, I like a conversation, don't I? So there we go. Just a little bit of primer today, a little bit of bronzer to darken my cheeks a little bit lip gloss, and I'm laughing, ready for the day. I say laughing, ready for the day, because I've got so much to talk to you about this morning that what I don't want to do is spend all my time putting my eyebrows on and my eyeshadow on and not actually tell you about all the things that I want to tell you about. So I want, from those of you that are watching along, we've got a few more people watching along than normal, so you must have seen my post this morning. You must be feeling a little bit nosy, getting the popcorn out. What is this announcement, Dani, of which you speak? Are you dangling as a red herring? The answer is absolutely not. So I've been doing some talking to people. I've been talking to lots of people about BE Inspired, about the BE Heard programs. The doors are open until Friday. And lots of you have been sort of crunching the numbers. Can you hear her? Can you hear her in the background? She's having a bit of a rough time. I'm going to mute myself whilst I shout Wallace to come and do some additional parenting with me, because I don't think I can passively parent this situation. So hang on one sec. I'm just keeping you waiting, aren't I? I'm like, oh, Dani, tell us the things. No, I'm going to put you on mute while I shout my husband. Wait there. And she's like, oh. She sounds like she's having a terrible time in the background. So I'll make sure that we've got an adult actually sat with her now. So you know that she's safe. She is. Right. Okay. So I've kept you waiting. So we've been having these conversations and speaking about being inspired. And all through this week, I've been talking to our alumni and the incredible experience that they had, the incredible things that they've achieved since, and all of this sort of stuff. I paid Ivy to sit there to make noise and keep us watching. That's it. It's like, oh, what's going on? I've been talking about the incredible team that you get to work with as a part of it. And there's no disputing the amount of value that you get out of working on your messaging and working on your speaking and the potential returns that you can get, there's no denying the value of it. And when you're creating something that is as big as an event like BEE Inspired, where you get to speak at it, we created these show reels and all this incredible photography and these speaker sheets, and we have all these wonderful teams working with you as well as me. I think one of the difficulties right now is it's a substantial investment. It's a big, chunky investment. So what we've done, and the announcement is this: there are now 3 payment plans that are available to you. And it's risky on our part, 100%, but I want to help as many of you as I possibly can come onto this program to get speaking about your business in ways you never thought about, in ways you never thought possible, so that you can reach more people, so that you can garner that return on your investment, both on your time and your outcomes, but also the money that you can generate as well. So what we've done is we've created 3 payment plans. One is for 6 months, so you can spread the cost over 6 months. 2 is a 9-month payment plan where you can spread the cost over 9 months. And 3 is a 12-month payment plan. Now, the question is it risky, Dani? Yeah, it absolutely is on our part. But we work with you to make sure we can make this as accessible as possible. So if finance is that sort of chunky, splitting that out, it's sort of £1,000 a month. If that's a bridge too far for you, then what we've done is we've doubled again the amount of time that you can pay your investment over. So if you, off of the back of that announcement, want to have a conversation with me, I'm available directly after the show today and all the way through the day today. And tomorrow and the day after and over the weekend. If this is now new news and you think, oh God, I can actually make this happen now, Dani, flipping heck, then what I want you to do is I want you to get into my DMs right now, and let's book in a conversation and see how we can make this work. So it's completely unprecedented. We've never done this before. But yeah, we are trying to make this as accessible as possible. And I know right now, times are a little bit difficult. Like there's a lot of uncertainty knocking around right now. And whilst what we can't do is lower the price anymore, we do have that discount code still live for people. So if you use the discount code SEPT22, that knocks £1,000 off the overall price. What we can't do is make that investment any lower, just because of the amount of people that are involved in bringing you to the stage. So yeah, how do you say, basically just an investment for a year in your business that will give you everything you need, literally everything. So it isn't just the speaking things. And you will hear time and time again that it isn't just a speaking program. It isn't just a speaking program. The masterminders, your fellow masterminders, are powerhouses in their own right for you to be helping each other and linking arms with each other. The amount of support that you get, not just from me, from the team, is phenomenal, but not just from a speaking perspective, from an insider view perspective, as someone who regularly launches, somebody who has a really solid strategic marketing plan and marketing expertise. So you can get all of that access over the course of the time that we work together. So the program is still 6 months, but you can spread the cost over 12 months. So if that has changed things for you, if that has changed how you're thinking about how you access, be inspired, or indeed be heard. So remember that there's those programs, those entry-level programs, that if Be Inspired is a bridge too far for you right now, then you can take part in our 8-week program. It starts on Wednesday next week. We meet every Wednesday. Is the 6-month payment plan available on Be Heard Pro? Carla, we can have a conversation about that. For Be Heard Pro, if that is a decider. So I want to make it as easy as possible we're not cheapening the proposition at all. We can't make it any cheaper. The amount that you get is right. Every time I speak to somebody, go, my God, you get all of that. Yes, you do get all of that, but I want to make it easy for you. So get into my DMs. I want to see my DMs popping off right now, or you can go directly to imthequeenbee.co.uk and click the book now button. The book now bottom. You could, if you wanted to, the book now button, and book in a cheeky call. So, all right. I am going to invite now somebody really special onto our live this morning, I met this person in the online space. We've kind of circled around each other for bloody ages, totally digging on each other's work. So I totally dig on this person's work, which is why I want to share her with you this morning. And she's been digging on my work for some time as well. And you know, when two powerhouses come together, they've got to have a conversation. They've definitely got to do a show together. And today is one of those days. So please welcome to the show, the CEO, of course you can, it's Rochelle Dallas.
You're so funny. Hiya, morning.
You up now everywhere. If I can just
how can I lead with that intro, with that video that you just did, with that big announcement? And here's Rochelle.
But here's the thing. The interesting thing is a lot of what you do complements the things that our alumni go on to create, which is books and courses and positioning and all of that sort of stuff. So actually having you as a conversation this week is really cool, because actually what we can share with everybody is, what can you do afterwards? What can you do after you've worked with me? And I mean, there's hundreds of people that have gone through this process that are in that position where they're after they've worked with me, or they've worked with somebody like the phenomenal Abigail Horn and they've written a book. So without me waxing too much lyrical, because I want you to wax the lyrical because you're the expert, Rochelle, tell us about what it is that you do.
So, Of Course You Can it's kind of grown into more of an agency now, where we're working with authors to turn books into online courses. So business books, self-development books, any book that's leading advisory or a transformation in any way can absolutely be turned into an online experiential thing, right? A digital product. And I think that I always say that online courses are just like the next step of a lot of what's going on at the moment. So I went to the book fair in Olympia in London a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking to massive like global publishers and small independent publishers, and they were all sort of like lapping up this concept that, okay, yeah, great, we've written the book, we've immortalized the expertise. Now we need to make that accessible. Now we need to make that into a format that's going to really, really get retained and get taken in. Now, high percentage of people are experiential learners, visual learners. You know, they like to feel like you can turn a chapter into a activity. And it's going to get retained. It's going to sink in so much better than just reading a chapter in a book. So that's what we do. We take, people take their book and go to an Audible or a Kindle or a podcast. And this is just that next step. Really.
It's like another layer. So one of the things that I talk to my clients, my audience about, are asset stacking. So stacking all of your assets, one on top of the other, so that when your audience come and find you, they get that really holistic access to you. So whether that's for me via the show at Rise Up Show, or via my books, or via my course programs, masterminds, PR, whatever that, my book, like whatever that is, but having these layered on layered. So doing, one thing well, or a couple of things well, isn't you being people think, oh, I've got to do them all at once. You don't necessarily have to do them all at once. Like, you can stagger them. You can put this into your strategy plan and your vision plan. And hundreds of you that watch this show have self-published or have been with publishing houses and have got these incredible books and stand on the other side of it and kind of look around and go, okay, so what now? Or you might have courses, but they might not be working for you as well as what they possibly can do. And this is the field that you work in, is taking all of the assets and looking at them and going, all right, so how do we make this make you the money that you want it to make you, right? How do we scale this so that you don't have to just teach one person, you can teach a whole bunch of people?
I mean, it's my background is Six Sigma and smart processes and all of that jazz. So
are you a black belt?
Yellow.
I love it.
I was only 17 when I did it. So
it makes me laugh that you have belts for the Six Sigma, but the processes are brilliant, and leaning processes is so important. And I think that when you're a startup, we can often get lost in the melee. So what we'll do is we'll do one thing, then we'll move on to the next thing, and move on to the next thing, and actually our processes are screwed.
Yeah. And so for me, online courses are just a really smart way to run your business anyway, even if you haven't got an audience yet. Like, honestly, I work with people who have got, like a couple of like therapists and RTT therapists who was finding herself repeating herself all the time. And I was like, that's not a very smart way to work. That stuff can be recorded and replayed time and time again to give people a foundational level of what you're teaching. And then your one-to-one stuff becomes so much more powerful because you can get straight down to work. Like when I work with people one-to-one, I'm not teaching them any theory. I'm saying, go and watch module 2, go and watch module 4. We'll come back and we'll talk about it then. And that means that we get so much more out of the one-to-one. So people, that one misconception of online courses is that you've got to be this, have a huge following and have a, like a celebrity level of marketing status in order to bring out a course, like you would, I'm going to bring out a movie or a Netflix thing. And it's like, it's not. Strip it back, think smart and think small so that you're not repeating yourself, so that you can spend the time on your business doing the stuff that only you or a human could do. Like teaching theory on stuff should just be recorded. Like, this stuff isn't new, right? You're an artist, you're a recording artist. I always say that Beyonce doesn't bowl into my kitchen, unfortunately.
I mean, I'm sad about that.
But it doesn't. Like, recording a song it's just basically that, but with your expertise. Your knowledge is different. Might not be your singing voice. It's not mine.
So Rochelle, what brought you to this work? So one of the questions I love asking the guests is like, why do you give a shit? What has brought you to doing what you're doing today? Because you're really passionate about it. Like, you really give a shit about it.
I really do. It's almost embarrassing. Like, when I watch things back like this, I'll be like, oh my God, Rochelle, you're such a geek for this stuff.
I love that you're a geek. I'm here for all of the nerd. I'm here for all of it.
But I absolutely can't. So for me, when I look back on my career, so I've been doing like Six Sigma. I'm 37 now, so I've got 20 years of this. So I was made redundant and started dabbling with like website management and small businesses. So that was great. And then I got kind of fed up with the doing. I wasn't into that anymore. And I was coaching all of my clients anyway. And they would comment, I don't pay you enough to coach me. But I just was asking the right questions. And I've got this really positive can-do approach to everything. Okay. So that was all sort of like amalgamated. Lockdown hit and I was like, I know I need I'd already launched my online course to absolute cricket because of a ton of other stuff I've learned since. But then as lockdown hit, I was like, you know what? I want to feel like I've got a little bit more behind me to coach these people properly. So I did an NLP master practitioner course. And that's why I went into it. But what I got out of it was the modeling excellence. So if any NLPers are watching, the modeling excellence and the preferred learning styles. And that was like a, not even just a light bulb, it was like that light bulb like smashed over my head.
Like a lightning bolt.
Created a load of glitter. And it was just like, this was it, like, I was like, oh my God, the processes, the branding stuff I've done in the past, the website, the tech, the marketing, and then the NLP layered on top of it was just like amazing. Like, this is it. And I was already running a program. It was called the Business Breakthrough Academy, and the plan was to bring in a how to create an online course module, and I thought of the name, of course you can. And then I just sort of parked it. I was like, it just didn't feel right, and then it just came out, and it was time. So it's been going well.
I love it. So when you engage in this work, what are the common mistakes that people make?
They don't do their research. So they end up creating something that they want to create.
Yes. Every time. And so many people who do this in business, they go, oh, look at this thing that I made that I want to make.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Or they make something that they know their people need. And that's not good either, because you can know it as much as anybody, but your audience, your people that are buying this product need to know that they need it enough to want to buy the solution.
Right.
So that's one of the common things I see. Another common mistake I see is people lead with time frame. So they'll say, I want to create a 6-week course.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, well, what are you offering? What's the transformation? And they're like, well, I want to do this. And what you don't want
you're going to overwhelm people in that 6 weeks.
Overwhelm them. Yeah. So you don't want to overwhelm them. You also don't want to underwhelm by stretching it out just to sound bigger and have a bigger program.
Yeah.
But you also need to know, like, realistically, what is your what is it going to take? So you don't want to say, like, learn Spanish overnight because you've listened to one tape or something in your sleep. Wake up fluent Spanish. I mean, that would be great, but
it'd be made up.
Yeah, but it's unrealistic. So you don't want to overwhelm, you don't want to bore them, and you don't want to promise something that's unrealistic, because we want to get them all to the completion of the course. And I think that this bit is another thing that's overlooked, is that people focus on the sales so that they can have an X-figure launch. And actually, there's very little focus placed on people after the fact of the purchase and saying, actually, you know what? I sold however many, but actually only one person completed it. And it's like, well, there's ways that you can keep people engaged and moving along. Short modules, short material, you know, mix up the module, keep everybody with their different learning engaged, so their learning styles. So yeah, that's what I would say are the common, like, standout sort of top 3-5 things.
Yeah, I think that's the completion rate is a really important one for me, and it's something that I mean, for those that are watching along, something I talk to you all about all the time, like things like challenges or courses, often have like a 20%, and we talk about our 20%ers, like a 20% completion rate. Now, if you're putting a product out there, you don't want only 20% of people that engage with you to complete. You want, I mean, you're never going to get 100%. I'd love to say that everyone's going to get 100%, but you want as many people as effing possible to get to the end, so that they can then implement and experience the transformation that you're selling, because it isn't really the course that you're selling, it's what they get out of it. It's the change on the other side, isn't it? That's what I don't know anybody that's in business that doesn't want to help somebody. They're not just in business to sell the shiny thing on top. It's to actually help that person get through to the other side and to fix the problems or the pain that they're feeling, right? And they can't do that if they don't complete.
Exactly that. So for me, online courses shouldn't seem like a downgrade to working with anybody one-to-one. It meets them where they are at that time. So I talk about a mid-step. So the space, time, energy, and payment to go through your levels. And not everybody wants one-to-one. We're actually seeing a really, interesting rise in self-study, and the feedback we're getting from Course You Can self-study is it's been great to not have to commit to the calls or get a little bit triggered by other people's progress in a group. It's great if you want that. I've had times where I've wanted a group, then I've missed a group, and then I've been I don't need a group, I just want one-to-one or whatever, I just want to get on with it. So it's about having a product that meets your person where they are, but that they still get that transformation, because then you make the impact, you know, in a scalable way. It's a smart way for your business, but it's about getting people to the end, so that then they can shout about I always say about telling the milkman about this course, like get it to that people. Like you tell everybody,
I've done this thing, and you've got to go get involved in it.
Get them like that, get them there.
I love it. And what you say there is really interesting, because I mean, Wallace, my husband, is one of these people who he would love to go, and there's lots of people who he would like to go and learn from, but he won't, because he doesn't want to go and engage in a group scenario or even in a one-to-one scenario. So he's a YouTube learner. He goes and learns all the things like wherever he can off of the YouTube. But actually, if there was somebody who he admired and they had this as an offering for him to engage in, where he didn't have to interact because he just isn't down for people, bless him. But if he had a form of self-study that he could engage in from the people that he admired, he would be much more inclined to then make a purchase. So I know there's people who I'm directly connected with who Wallace admires, who we really want to like work with, but he just doesn't want to engage in that capacity. So again, from a learning styles point of view, or from an accessibility point of view. So you know, if you're autistic, for example,
Yep.
or if you're neurodivergent in some sort of way, again, this helps you as a business become more accessible, because you can do things like caption your learning, which you can't do in a live environment. You can do things like, you know, adding, if someone is dyslexic, you can add workbooks on there that have got accessibility like considerations. I'm just thinking from an inclusivity point of view, how much more you can extend your offering to more people.
And I think about all the books that I've bought. Like, I am always buying books and then I'm just looking at my bookshelf now. I don't really like the third, maybe fourth. I used to say it was because I wasn't on a sun lounger. So I used to blame it on that. I'm like, no, I only read on a sun lounger. So I just need to go on holiday to read books. And it's not. It's actually because my focus, and also you've got this like focus, you know, bit of a pandemic going on as well. Like, our attention and focus is dwindling, so that it's seen as a real time luxury to sit and read and absorb a book. And this isn't like bad on books at all, but what we want to do is that, you know what, if you're not going to read that book, I still want you to know what's in it. So let's meet you where you are. Let's create something that you're going to watch. You know, not everybody that watches the film is going to go and read the book, you know. Like, I the only book I've ever read that was a film was Bridget Jones's Diary. Okay, and that's it. Like, my husband's different. He's read Lord of the Rings. He's read Harry Potter. I'm like,
dude's got time.
I can't read anything. It's just not me. It's just not me. So yeah, and also the money side of it. So we, you know, covered the impact. We've covered the inclusivity, and also the smart processes behind it. But you know, you do pay more for a holiday than you do a book written about the destination. And that is just a fact. Books are fantastic. When they're not going anywhere, they're a great way to stamp your authority and collate all your information. And that's fantastic. But if you're talking extra avenue of revenue, honestly, if you've done the book, it's a no-brainer to not leave money on the bookshelf.
Absolutely. And again, that's going back to that asset stacking. So when you as a business have got these assets at your disposal, you just from a perception point of view, I mean, the quality has to be great, and that's where you help. And people like Abigail Home, for example, help with creating great quality assets. So then when you've got these assets and you have a great asset stack, you are perceived to be more rounded, and you are, because if you've got these things, you are more rounded as a business. You've got a set of keynotes that you can go and do, for example. That's part of your asset stack. So Rochelle, how can people get involved with the things that you do, because they need you?
So first thing would be this new tool I've created. I've
had a little play with this tool that you've created.
What did you think?
I loved it. I loved how comprehensive it was. I'll let you explain the tool, and I'll tell you about
so it's a scorecard, and it's run through Score App, which is a bit of software that me and Helen Pritchard and Paul Green, we're all using at the moment in our world. And we're really into it, because it's just a really, like you said, comprehensive way of getting information from you, the information I need to be able to help you. And then I've created a PDF really in depth, which is specific to the information that you've answered. So you know, you can say whether you score low, medium, or high. You ask like 23 questions.
And it doesn't take very long at all. Like, if anyone's like, 23 questions, that's going to take a lot. It's almost like a tick box.
Yes and
sort
no.
of way to work through it. It's not difficult to. I did it when I was sort of led down having a chill, and I was working through it.
It's I say 3 minutes. I've not actually seen anybody do it in over 2. So it's ridiculously quick, really impactful, and it can give you tips on where you're at, but also advice on how to get to that next step. And so what it is back to the smart processes thing. It's basically a conversation with me, time and time again, specific of where you're at. So the authors one that I've created, I've got a couple out, but the authors one talks to you about your value stack and you know, your ladder and your so it covers 4 things: your value ladder, your content creator status, your authority, and your current you know, the current business. So that's all covered. and then you get a PDF to talk you through how to get to that next step.
And that's what I thought was really handy, because I answered it really honestly, because I have nothing to hide and I'm always wanting to learn. I want to learn from everybody around me. And one of the reasons why I love on you is because of the quality of work that you put out there. I absolutely dig on you, and there's always space to grow. And my scorecard came out at 75%. For me, there's a chunk, a 25% area for me to grow. And allowing me to sort of have a look, because right now where IATQB is in a space of massive growth, it's mental. So by having a scorecard there that highlights the areas, I'm just about to go into a bunch of strategy meetings with my team. I could take that scorecard into the strategy meeting with my team and say, hey, do you know what? Actually, we looked at these things, and as a value proposition, we need to look at this for our processes. We're missing this trick. And to have that, to have that's invaluable piece of information for me to then go and grow.
Yeah, because like when you're so close to the fire, you don't take a look at the fireplace or the wall.
You're in the fire. It's hot.
You're in there. But it's like sometimes it just takes that outsider's perspective to be like, oh, okay, like, yeah, I completely overlooked that because I've been focused on this, because this takes so much work and time and effort. Actually, could I be also adding this on over here and it be a natural undersell or an upsell to what we're currently focused on? But yeah, like I see, lots going on with group programs. Fantastic. I love a group program, love being part of them, but it's not for everybody. Energetically, personality, financially, and so sometimes people do just want that really low ticket self-study that they can basically create a bookshelf. Now, what I would say to that is don't lose track of all the self-study programs you're buying, because otherwise you end up with a load of empty, like half-finished courses.
Half-finished done,
Go in with as much commitment as you would as the as a one-to-one arrangement, because that's my commitment to anybody who does a program with me, is that I'll give you as much commitment and tools that you would if you were one-to-one. So I want you to bring that to the table as well. I love
that.
And
that's how you don't dilute your message, right? So if we think about these things as a mid-level or entry-level proposition for your clients to access you, that they want to get that energy from you in that environment, so that if they complete the self-study and they want more, or they want your eyes on the business, they want to elevate, escalate, amplify working with you, then they can do, but they can only get that from the energy that you bring to the table. So you can't half-arse these things when you're delivering them. I totally with you on that.
And I think people get confused with being lower price being like lower commitment or lower impact. And
right.
Not the case, like you're going to a gym and you put in the work, you're going to get the same results as you were if you're at £10 Pure Gym, or if you were at a £200 a month David Lloyd, or with a personal trainer. You might get extra results with a personal trainer, but you're not going to lose the experience if you're willing to put the work in. So I think they're great. I think that and they're never finished as well. There's another misconception is that I've done this course, that's it, see you in 5 years. Absolutely not. You should always be looking at improving, tweaking. Just done a big project with Helen Pritchard's business mastermind and her LinkedIn mastermind, and she sold millions and millions of pounds of products. But she's always keen to make it better.
She's constantly growing, isn't she? That's how she stands out, right? So she's constantly tweaking, constantly leveling up what it is that she's offering, and that's how you stay in growth. That's how you stay in growth. That it's all well and good, and this is the next big piece of work for IATQB, is that we're sort of 3 years in. So we tested it to start with, had a couple of good runs, and now I can see where the gaps are so that we can elevate it once again. But that's what we've all got to be considering if we want to stay in growth together. So Rochelle, how do we get amongst this?
So I've got the link.
We can pop the link in the chat. I'll copy and paste it and pop it into the comments, or you can pop it directly in the comments.
Okay, let's have a look. Share.
So Nina A. Spencer's just saying, do you have the link to this tool and what have you?
I'll put it in the comments.
We will pop it in the comments. If you are in, can you pop it in the private chat?
I'll put it in there,
Put it in the private chat.
So this is the one. This is the one for books to courses. And like I said, I've got a couple. So if you've already got an online course and you want a bit of an audit on it, like if it's not performing as you like, got one for that. And if you've just got, you know, a business and you're like, how can I do this? Because it sounds awesome and I really want to run my business in this model, then got that as well.
Amazing, amazing. So Rochelle, thank you so much for joining us. How do we come and hang out with you? Where do you hang out most?
I'm having the best time on LinkedIn at the moment.
Oh yeah.
It's my audience is growing there. Lots of, you know, great authors and business owners. I'm really enjoying the conversations I'm having. I'm on all the platforms. I mean, you can find me anywhere, but I
found you on the Instagram. I talk about the Instagram and the LinkedIn like it's the Asda's or the Tesco's. I met you down at the Instagram.
and I've met you in person as well. Like I know that we've seen each other in person.
I got to sing for you, didn't I?
Your voice
Rebecca
is ridiculous.
Robinson's.
Honestly, I was like, still so good. And if you're wondering, it is overcast in Barnet. So.
It's overcast in Barnet, flipping it. Well, I think we've got the best of the weather here in Preston today. It's bloody glorious out there. I'm going to go and have a little stroll on the outside. Rochelle, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's been a pleasure to speak to you. It's been a pleasure to share you with my community. Go and check Rochelle Dallas out right now over there on the LinkedIn or the Instagram or the Tesco's, wherever it is that you're hanging out.
Thank you.
We've got loads of people that are super interested. Rochelle, I can't wait to see who comes and gets involved. Go and grab a hold of that scorecard. The scorecard is brilliant. For me, I worked through that. Took me a couple of minutes. The outcomes made a huge amount of sense and really highlighted what it is that I need to work on next. So if it can help me, then I know for sure if you've got a book or a course, indeed, it can help you. Rochelle, I'll see you later.
See you later, thanks.
That was Rochelle Dallas, everybody, on the Wise Up Wednesday today, talking to you about all things course creation. You can go and check her out over on LinkedIn, Rochelle Dallas, over on Instagram. Of course you can. If you do want to connect with her, please do. She's a bloody lovely sort. So thanks for joining us this morning. Hello, mate. Okay, darling. I'm gonna. She just been sick. I might not go out for a walk. I might just go and have a little snuggle with my little one over there. But if you do want to know more about that payment plan for BEE Inspired or indeed BEE Heard Pro, let me know. Get into my DMs right now. I'm going to be sharing this over in the IATQB. I'm going to be emailing about it today. Please do get involved. Doors close on Friday. For BEE Inspired and for all of the rest of the programs. We begin on Wednesday next week. That is a week today we kick off. All right, my darlings, have a lovely, lovely day. Happy Wise Up Wednesday to you. Let's get over the hump of the week. Slide into the DMs of the weekend till it's amazing. There's still loads of work to be done yet, though. I'll see you on Friday for more Showing Up, Wising Up and Rising Up. Take care.